If someone handed me $200 and said make my backyard look dramatically better by Monday, I wouldn't spend it where most homeowners do. No flowers, no furniture, nothing for the lawn. In fact, the first 3 hours of this makeover cost nothing at all. Today I'll show you exactly where every dollar goes and why a smarter plan beats a bigger budget every single time. The walkthrough. Where I'm not spending, let's stand in the middle of this yard and be honest about it. Patchy grass. Shrubs that haven't met a pruner in 5 years. A concrete patio that's gone gray-green with grime. One decent tree, completely ignored. And no shape anywhere. The beds and the lawn just bleed into each other. The owner's here somewhere along the way, and you can see why. It's not ugly exactly. It's just nothing. And nothing is exhausting to look at. The whole point of this weekend is simple. Make this a place they actually want to be again. Morning coffee out here instead of at the counter. Kids out here instead of on screens. Most homeowners would start with the lawn. New sod. Fertilizer program. Maybe $150 into the grass before anything else. That money would. Here's why. Nobody has ever walked into a backyard and admired the lawn. Grass is the floor, not the room. You notice the floor when it's terrible, but making it perfect doesn't make the room beautiful. We'll mow it, edge it, and let it be. Be honest, is the lawn where your $200 would have gone? You're not alone, and by the end of this video I think you'll spend it differently. The second trap is flowers. A cart full of annuals eats $60, looks great for 6 weeks and dies. Every dollar today goes into things that still look good next year. That's the filter for this whole weekend. If it won't matter in 12 months, it doesn't get $1 now. So where does the actually go? Nowhere. Yet, because the first phase of this makeover is free, and it does more than any purchase on the list. Phase 1. The free 3 hours. The first hour of any makeover should cost nothing. Here's what that looks like. First, every ant leaves the yard. The hose gets coiled onto a hook. The faded plastic ornaments go. The mystery pile behind the shed goes. Clutter reads as neglect faster than any dead plant, and removing it is the fastest transformation in landscaping. 10 minutes in, the yard already looks like someone cares about it again. And that feeling is the foundation everything else builds on this weekend. Second, pruning. These overgrown shrubs aren't bad plants. They're good plants nobody's edited. I'm cutting them back to a clean, deliberate shape, opening space between them so each one reads as a choice instead of a hedge of chaos. Take out the dead wood first, then anything crossing or rubbing, then step back and shape what's left. Prune before you plant. Half the yards that need new landscaping just need a haircut, and this one's been growing out for 5 years. Third, the shovel comes out, because this yard is full of free plants. That crowded hosta patch by the fence, that's 6 plants pretending to be one. The daylilies fighting each other in the corner. I'm dividing them and spreading them along the front of the beds, and they'll be better for it. Crowded perennials bloom less every year. Divided ones come back stronger. Landscaping is arranging before it's buying, and this yard just handed us a dozen plants for nothing. Last free move, a cut edge. Using a spade line between lawn and every bed. Lay a garden hose down first to mark the line, step back to the patio, and adjust it until the curve looks right from where you'll actually sit. Designers love curves so much, and it's not just taste. Your eye can't help following a curve to see where it goes. A straight bedline gets read in one glance and dismissed. A curved one pulls your attention along it, through the whole yard, which means a single curved edge makes the space feel bigger and more interesting without adding a thing. Curves feel designed. Straight lines feel installed. The yard now has shape, and we haven't spent $1. Stand back better than half the block. 3 hours in. Budget still $200. Now we start spending, and the first purchase is the least exciting and most important thing in this entire video. Purchase 1. Patio cleaner, about $12 before anything new comes in. The patio gets its color back. A bottle of concrete cleaner at any hardware store. A stiff brush, and a hose turn that gray-green slab back to something close to new. If you can borrow a pressure washer from a neighbor, even better, but the cleaner and brush get you 90% of the way. Here's a designer secret most people never hear. When professional landscapers photograph a finished job, the last thing they do before the camera comes out is clean. Every surface, every leaf blown off, every smudge gone. because they know cleaning creates a bigger visual improvement per dollar than almost anything you can buy. The patio is the biggest man-made surface in the yard, and grime reads as age. Clean is the cheapest color there is. It's the same effect as washing a car. Nothing about the car changed, and somehow the whole thing looks 2 years younger. Quick question while the patio dries. Have you ever paid someone to wash? Drop it in the comments, because the quotes people get for this genuinely shock me. Budget. About $12 spent. Roughly $188 remaining. Now, with a clean stage and shaped beds, the next purchase covers more square footage than everything else combined. Purchase 2. Bulk mulch, about $55 a cubic yard and a half of dark brown mulch. Ordered in bulk from my local supplier that ran me about $55 delivered. Prices vary depending on where you live, but bulk almost always runs close to half the price of bagged, and that gap holds pretty much everywhere. One honest note on quantity: we're refreshing the patio, not every square foot of the property. That's a design decision, not a shortcut. Spend money with it, and nobody notices the strip behind the shed. Every visible bed we shape this morning gets 2 to 3 inches. And here's why mulch is the biggest visual lever in this whole makeover. Mulch isn't decoration, it's the background that makes everything else stand out. The divided hostas, the reshaped shrubs, the curved edges. All of it doubles in impact the moment there's a clean, dark surface behind it. It's the same reason galleries paint their walls one color. The background's job is to make everything in front of it look intentional. One rule while spreading it: keep it an inch away from every stem and trunk. Mulch piled against a plant slowly kills it. Make constantly. Budget about $55 spent, roughly $133 remaining. Most homeowners would stop here and call it a weekend. But the yard still has one problem no amount of mulch can fix: there's nowhere for your eye to land. That's what the rest of the budget is for. By now, you've probably noticed something. None of these improvements are about spending more money, they're about spending it in the right places. That's exactly why I created the Smart Homeowner's Garden Guide. It helps homeowners avoid expensive landscaping mistakes and make smarter design decisions that improve curb appeal without overspending. If you're planning your own backyard makeover this year, you'll find it linked in the description below. Back to the yard, because the next purchase is where this stops being a cleanup and starts being a design. Purchase 3. 3 ornamental grasses, roughly $36. 3 of the same ornamental grass, around $12 a piece at my local nursery. Yours might charge a little more or less. Not 3 different plants. 3 of the same one, planted in a staggered group at the back corner of the largest bed. This is the moment at the garden center where discipline pays. The temptation is to grab one of everything that looks nice, and that's exactly how yards end up looking like collections instead of designs. Walk past the variety. Buy the repetition. Here's something that surprises almost everyone. Walk a truly high-end professional landscape and count the plant varieties. You'll often on the entire property. Amateur yards routinely have 20. Fewer varieties, repeated in bigger groups, is one of the most reliable of professional design, and it happens to be the cheaper way to shop. 2 lessons in one purchase. First, this yard is entirely knee level, and a yard with no vertical shapes feels flat no matter how tidy it is. Grasses buy height cheaper than any shrub or tree, and they move in the wind, which makes the whole yard feel alive. Second, large groups beat scattered plants, and repetition creates luxury. 1 of each plant looks like a collection. 3 of the same plant looks like a decision. Budget, roughly $103 spent, about $97 remaining. 2 purchases to go. The next one is the single thing everyone who visits this yard will notice first. Purchase 4. 1 statement planter, about $45. 1 large planter, and I mean large. At least 2 in a dark color. Mine was about $30 on an end-of-season sale. Full price you might see $50 or $60, so timing matters here more than the store does. Plus roughly $15 of plants inside it. 1 tall grass in the center, something trailing over the rim. It goes beside the patio, right where the sightline from the back door lands. And finding that spot takes 30 seconds. Stand at the door, look out the way you do every morning, and notice where your eye wants to stop. I moved this planter twice before it felt right, and that's normal. Placement is a bigger decision than purchase. This is the focal point, and every yard needs somewhere for your eye to land. Until now, this yard had nothing that won. Now, The moment you step outside, your eye goes to that planter, then moves out along the curved beds, then finds the grasses at the back. There's a path for your attention. That's what designed actually means. One big planter beats 5 small pots every time. Small pots scattered around read as clutter. One oversized container reads as a statement. And it's the difference between a yard that has stuff in it and a yard that was composed. Budget: roughly $148 spent, about $52 remaining. Around $50 left. One purchase to go, and it's the one that gives this yard a second life after the sun goes down. Purchase 5. Warm solar lighting, $35 last purchase. A set of warm solar lights, around $35 for a decent pack almost anywhere, but not used the way the package suggests. One spotlight aims up into the tree we've been ignoring all day. 2 small path lights go near the patio edge. That's it. 3 lights placed. The rest of the pack saved as spares. Lighting creates a second landscape after dark. All day, that tree was just there. Tonight, uplit from below, it's the most dramatic thing on the property. Branches throwing nose, canopy glowing. This is the shapes used constantly, and it costs 1 solar spotlight. What matters, not everything. 20 lights lining a fence would have cost the same and looked like an airport. 3 lights aimed at the right things look like a designer was here. An always warm white, cool blue light turns a cozy backyard into a parking lot. Budget: roughly $183 spent. Somewhere around $17 left over, under $200, with change. Let's walk it. Stand at the back door with me, exactly where we started Saturday morning. The patio is clean and bright instead of gray. The beds have crisp, curving edges and a dark mulch background that makes every plant pop. The shrubs look chosen instead of abandoned. A dozen divided perennials line the beds, free, 3 grass of the back corner height and motion. The big planter catches your eye first, then hands it off to everything else. And when the sun drops, one uplit tree turns the whole yard into something you'd see behind a restaurant charging $40 a plate. Notice what your eye does now that it couldn't do Saturday morning. It moves. Planter, beds, grasses, tree, stop, travel, land. On Saturday there was nowhere to go, so it went nowhere. And the yard felt like nothing. That movement is the entire transformation. Everything we bought and everything we did for free was in service of it. Here's the full accounting from my receipts. Patio cleaner, about $12. Bulk mulch, around $55. 3 grasses, roughly $36. The statement planter, about $45. Lighting, around $35. Call it $183 all in, with a little under $20 to spare. Your numbers will shift depending on where you live. A little more in some regions, a little less in others, but the plan holds anywhere. Because the biggest changes, the decluttering, the pruning, the dividing, the edging, cost nothing in any zip code. If this budget had been $2,000 instead of $200, I'd have started the exact same way, with the free 3 hours. More money buys nicer versions of these same decisions. It doesn't buy better ones. And here's what the receipts can't show. Monday morning, someone's going to carry their door instead of drinking it at the kitchen counter. The kids have a yard worth playing in again. There's a spot to put friends on a Friday night without apologizing for anything. That's what the dollars actually bought, not mulch and grasses, but the feeling of opening the back door and being glad about what's on the other side. Which purchase surprised you the most? I'm genuinely curious. Tell me in the comments, because I know at least one of these 5 wasn't what you expected. Nothing here worked because it was expensive. It worked because it was intentional. Every dollar had one job: pull the eye somewhere on purpose. Slow walk POV from the back door through the finished yard at golden hour, mirroring the opening walkthrough shot. Split screen. Saturday morning versus Sunday evening from the same angles. Final graphic. Itemized list totaling $183. Under budget, $917 to spare. Dusk shot of the uplit tree. A beautiful backyard doesn't start with a big budget. It starts with a good plan and the discipline to spend nothing until the free work is done. That's the part I hope sticks with you, because it works at every budget. $200, $2,000, $20,000, the order never changes. Subtract first. Arrange second, buy last. Beautiful landscapes come from better design decisions, not bigger budgets. So here's my question to improve your backyard this weekend. What would you spend it on first? Tell me in the comments. I read every one, and the answers always teach me something. And if this changed how you'd spend that money, subscribe, because there's a lot more of this coming. Final montage. The 5 purchases stacking with their prices. Ending on the family-ready patio at dusk. Text overlay. What would you spend it on first? Subscribe animation as the shot holds.